Hey folks, Daily Landsblog for the 28th of May 2019, and I want to talk about the 27th of May, but it seems like I'm always a day late, right? Because today, as we shoot this, is Memorial Day in the United States, and even though we are obviously, Casey and I are not in the United States, I know there's people that watch this this blog out of the, probably 3 or 4 million people that watch it every day. There's at least a handful that live in the United States. And I think Memorial Day is one of the most important days of the year. I think that recognizing the sacrifice that those who fought for us, and when I say us, I mean the greater us, because in a lot of ways, especially in wars that like World War II, we fought with the Americans, and our interest was essentially their interest. We were part of the same team. We were part of the Allies. We lived together and we died together and we came back together. And when we came back, here's what I learned from it though. I learned that Memorial Day is a day to recognize those that died in wars. It was actually started about 3 years after the Civil War in the United States. Are you getting bitten, Case?
He's biting my foot.
Okay, do you want to pan down?
No, because I'm wearing the world's worst sweatpants.
It's okay, you can't tell. Just pan down. Yeah, okay.
Wrigley.
Riggs.
Yeah, you look at the camera,
That was a
boy.
good shot. Oh my God, print that one. So what I take from this is that we don't recognize the fact that you have Memorial Day for those that have died and you have Veterans Day for those that are alive. But how about the veterans that come back and celebrate Veterans Day, but they end up dying because they can't cope with their life without mental health treatment, and now they're recognized on Memorial Day? It seems like a bizarre tragedy for me. And I think we can learn so much from how the military in both Canada and the United States have missed an opportunity to truly acknowledge the sacrifice that soldiers have made by saying, when you come back, we will do everything in our power to allow you to get back to a life that you lived beforehand. And if you don't treat them in a mental health way, many never do get back to it. And I read stories all the time about this because I'm fascinated by post-war trauma. Read stories all the time about people who say they could never fit back into a world that revolved in a certain way when they were there before war, and then afterwards everything was changed. Their whole view on the world was changed. So let me summarize this by saying we should look after our veterans in a way that we never have before. But even beyond that, we should learn from our veterans. We should learn the trauma that they experience over there, quote unquote, is not unlike the trauma that many experience in their own lives. For instance, if you have a sick child, if you've lost a child, there can be no greater trauma than that. We need to learn that whether you're fighting a war, whether you're a first responder, or whether you're a parent with a sick kid, trauma needs to be dealt with. SickNotWeak.com, 24 hours a day, 364 days a year. And on this, the Memorial Day for Americans, I acknowledge the fact that we, especially being a Jewish guy with a Jewish daughter here, that we owe everything to those that gave everything.